I just got this giant box in the mail from Roland, and it says Aerophone AE-20 on it, so let's check it out. Okay, so this is the box that it comes in. Let's open it up. Okay, so it looks like there's the user manual, some instructions. Okay, to be honest, I'm just gonna open up the Aerophone and start trying to play it, and then when I can't figure something out, I'll read this, because I tend to learn better by doing, so hopefully I don't mess anything up. Oh, so it looks like it comes in a case. That's sweet. There's also this little box in here. I'll open that in a second. Okay, so it comes in this, like, gig bag. That's pretty sweet. I guess this is the neck strap that it comes with. Oh, and like an adapter of some kind. So this is the neck strap it comes with. It looks like a pretty standard, you know, neck strap that comes with student horns and stuff. So I'll probably just end up using mine, but I'll try it out at least to see how it works from the box. And then yeah, this looks like maybe a way to connect it to your computer. It's like USB-C on one end and regular USB on the other, I think. Okay, but let's check out the unit. Whoa, okay, so it's all wrapped in styrofoam. I guess that's pretty smart for shipping purposes. And it looks like it has these straps here, so that's convenient. Okay, I think I just pulled off the mouthpiece cap and it's in here. One second. Aha, I thought so. So this normally is on, obviously, covering the reed. I just accidentally pulled it off while I was unboxing. So this is what the unit looks like. It's pretty sweet. It's kind of like a matte black and then a matte white in the middle. It comes with this little piece of fabric on the top, which, if I'm not mistaken, is to help prevent spit from dripping down onto the keys. Sounds kind of gross, but I'm sure it's functional. And then this is what the back looks like. You can see you have a bunch of the scenes actually printed on the back, which is handy. Some knobs. I'm pretty sure this part here is for bending pitch, if I'm not mistaken, kind of similar to how on some keyboards they have that little knob. I think that's what this is. Okay, I forgot to mention what was in this box, and it looks like there's this thing, which I think this piece goes on the end of the Aerophone and collects spit at the bottom, because I think there's actually a tube in the center of the unit where spit's supposed to flow through and down out of the bottom, but this way you don't end up looking like a trumpet player with a big puddle of spit underneath your instrument. Then in this box, there's also this power supply. So the Aerophone can run on either, I think it's 6 AA, I'll put that on screen if I'm wrong, or you can just plug it into wall power, so that's what this is. I like that it says AE-20 on it, that way if you have a bunch of other power supplies for miscellaneous things, you don't get confused, so that's nice. So the last thing in this box is this little black rubber piece. My guess is that this is maybe a thumb rest. The Aerophone comes with a thumb rest already on it, but maybe this is just an extra, or it actually looks like it's shaped a little differently, so it might just be for personal preference, you know, maybe one is more comfortable than the other. Okay, yeah, in the owner's manual, it like describes everything. That is supposed to be a thumb hook, I guess they call it, and then the neck strap, it shows you everything that's in the box. So okay, so right off the bat, just holding the Aerophone, it feels pretty comfortable. Like if you're coming from saxophone, it feels very similar. Your hands are definitely a little closer together in terms of up and down vertically on the instrument, but yeah, my hand falls pretty much naturally right in place with all these keys, and I can feel where everything is, both with the spatula keys on the left hand as well as what would be the low E flat and C on saxophone. You also have these keys on the side that are just like side keys on the saxophone, but they're definitely a little easier to press, and I feel like they're bigger. Maybe they're just wider. All right, I'm excited, so let's just plug this thing in and see if I can figure out how to get it to work. So it looks like you just plug the power into the side and then flip the switch to on. All right, it has an orange light. I don't know if that's good or bad. Okay, so it looks like the default setting is the AE hard lead. Let's just see if I can get a sound out. I don't know. Uh-oh. Ah, the volume's down. Okay. Whoa, this thing is sweet. It feels crazy. What the heck? This thing is wild. Okay, it feels so easy to play right out of the box. Holy crap. I haven't even adjusted the breath sensor at all, but it feels really responsive, and it's crazy the dynamics you can get. Whoa, this is wild. Okay, two things I'm going to do real quick. One, I'm going to put a mouthpiece patch on the top of this mouthpiece. It's just a little more comfortable, and also I don't want to necessarily put a giant teeth mark in this thing. And then I'm going to look through the manual and try to figure out how to adjust the breath sensor for how hard or soft you can blow into it to get it to respond. Because it feels a little soft right now, and I'd like to have to blow in a little harder so it's a little closer to what I'm used to on saxophone. I always find a product is really good if you kind of can use it right out of the box without having to read the owner's manual, and then you only have to dig in when you need to do something specific. So everything has been pretty straightforward so far. Okay, so basically this is saying that there are, it looks like 11 different settings for the breath sensitivity. You have from L1 to L5, M, which is the default setting, and then H1 to H5. L being less resistant, H being more resistant. Okay, right now I have it set to H4, and that feels pretty good. I might go up one more to the highest just to see how hard it is. This thing is so cool. What the heck? Okay, H5 feels really good. I'm used to a pretty resistant setup on saxophone, so I'm pretty sure H5 is the most resistant setup you can have, and that feels pretty spot on for me. I definitely don't feel like it needs to be any more resistant, and honestly, depending on the day, I will probably turn that down, especially if I've been playing a lot of saxophone throughout the day and I don't want to have to work as hard. It's nice that you can change that. Okay, I actually am going to turn it down just a little bit. Let's try H3. Feels a little too soft. I think H4 is going to be the sweet spot for me. Yeah, H4 feels the best, so I'm going to stick with that. Okay, before I get into a bunch of the sounds, I just want to talk about the key work. Right away, it feels so comfortable. I'm not even getting any blips or anything. I recently played one of my buddy's EWIs just probably a month or two ago, and I probably spent 5 or 10 minutes with it, and I could hardly get a scale out, and I'm immediately able to just play all these crazy bop licks and stuff. And it just feels very transferable from saxophone. Yeah, the key work feels really good. It's super comfortable. Also, it's really quiet. I was watching some reviews of some of the older models and people would complain about how loud the clicking was, but I don't really feel like this is loud. I mean, I'm sure it'll probably get louder over time, maybe. I don't know, maybe as stuff gets worked in. But it's definitely not a complaint from me by any means, and I don't think it would bother anyone. Also, right now this is set to C. I'm used to playing alto, which is an E-flat instrument, so I'm going to go ahead and change this to E-flat. My ears tend to hear better in E-flat, and that's really easy to do with just a few pushes of a button. All right, let's check out some of the other sounds. That's so sick. So I'm not going to go through every single sound that's on here by default. I think there's upwards of like 100 or something. But the other really cool thing about this is I know you can connect it to Roland Cloud, which gives you access to basically any type of synth sound you could ever possibly want. You can load sounds onto here from the Roland Cloud. You can connect it to your DAW to use it as a MIDI controller. So there's so much you can do, and I'm just scratching the surface, and it's really going to take me a little bit of time to really delve into all the little nuts and bolts of what this thing can do. Oh, this one's sick. It has like some delay or something. I'm so amazed at how responsive this breath sensor is. It's mind-blowing. That's crazy. That's wild. It's so accurate. Also, the mouthpiece is really responsive to your articulations too, and it feels pretty natural. The one thing I feel like I can't quite do is like mute the reed. Actually, I take that back. I can mute pretty easily. I just have to do it slightly different from what I'm used to on saxophone. I have to use a little more pressure because the reed obviously isn't actually buzzing. This thing is crazy. Okay, so honestly, everything feels so natural, it's crazy. The only thing that feels a little weird is the octave mechanism. I'm slowly getting used to it. Basically, the way it works is there are 2 different octave keys to go up and 2 different octave keys to go down. You basically press the first one to go up an octave, the second one to go up 2 octaves, and vice versa with the lower ones. And also in any given register, you can play the palm keys just where they are and you'll get notes up to where you normally would, like D, D sharp, E, F. I don't know if you can play F sharp. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so this button here on the side is actually a high F sharp key. Let me see if you can play it with the front fingering. So you can also get front F sharp just by playing like what would be front F and then adding side B flat rather. That feels really natural too. This is definitely designed really well. Like you can tell they had a lot of saxophone players sit down and play this thing and say, this is what's working, this is what's not. Also, I'm pretty sure you can customize fingerings. I'm not sure how, but I feel like I remember seeing in some reviews that you can program certain altissimo fingerings and stuff like that. Okay, that's crazy. This real lead sounds very similar to what Michael Brecker used on It's Been Real. This thing is so crazy. Oh my gosh. That is so sick. I've mostly been messing with the synths, and I want to say I'm extremely happy with the synths being the first sounds on the instrument. Basically, the first 4 scene categories are all synths, and in each category, there are probably around 20 to 30 different sounds. When I think of a wind synthesizer, I don't think about it trying to replicate a saxophone, so I'm really glad that the synth sounds are first because those are what I want to use most of the time anyways. For me, as a saxophonist, it's just hard to replicate the sound of a real saxophone, especially because of how much time I've put into developing my sound. Synthesized woodwinds just never end up sounding quite the way I want them to, especially compared to a real saxophone. Here are a few different woodwind sounds just so you can hear what they sound like anyways. So I've already been playing this thing for about an hour and it feels so comfortable. I can literally play everything that I can play on saxophone on here almost immediately. That was always one of the big things that kept me from getting an EWI for the longest time, is everyone that I talked to was like,
oh, you're gonna have to sit down and practice it like it's its own instrument.
And with this, you really don't. It's so crazy. This is mind-blowing. I'm gonna keep playing this for the next couple hours probably and try to check back in because I definitely just want to play it for a little while and kind of get used to it and see what I can do. Hopefully I'll come back with some type of conclusion for the unboxing. Okay, so I've been playing with this thing for a couple hours now and it is crazy. I haven't even explored every single sound on here. I've gotten through most of the synth ones and I've also gotten through some of the woodwinds and the brass. There's also percussion at the end, which is crazy too. However, like I mentioned, I know it's possible to connect this to Roland Cloud, which basically gives you access to every synth Roland's ever created and synths that other people are making, I think. And you can download those onto the instrument and then take them with you wherever you go. I'm still trying to get used to this little pitch bend wheel on the back by your thumb. That's definitely going to take a little getting used to, but it definitely doesn't feel impossible by any means. So I tried playing this with headphones, and headphones make a huge difference. The onboard speakers aren't incredible by any means, but they definitely get the job done. But I noticed a huge difference in sound just by plugging headphones in. There's a standard 3.5mm aux port on the side, and I also realized that there's a USB-C port on the other side. So that's definitely what this cable is for, to connect the USB-C port from the Aerophone to your computer. I forgot to mention there is a 1/4" output at the bottom of the Aerophone right here, so that's good to know too. I'm definitely just scratching the surface of what this thing can do, and I'm still trying to gain some facility around the instrument, but basically my initial thoughts are this thing is awesome. It feels so comfortable right out of the box. Also, I know there are different settings for pitch bends with this mouthpiece. I haven't really delved into that much, but I know you can set it to react to how firm or soft your embouchure is, and it'll bend the pitch based on that. So that's definitely something I'm going to experiment with. I really like this thing right out of the box. It's going to be interesting to kind of play over the next couple weeks and see what I can really do with it. Let me know if there's anything specific you want to hear me play on this thing. I think it might be fun to do like an Aerophone only cover of maybe a video game music tune or something like that. In the meantime, this is just kind of a quick little unboxing slash review so you can see my first impressions. So anyways, there will be more Aerophone content on the way. Make sure to follow my Instagram and my TikTok if you aren't already, because I'll be posting shorter clips there, and some of the more finished products will probably be here on YouTube. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, it's all taped up. Here is the moment of truth. This is the most ridiculous thing ever. How do you hold it?